You're welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be showing you operators in SQL, the types and how you can use them in writing your queries. Operators are symbols that perform operations on data values. They are used to create expressions that can be used in various clauses of SQL statements, such as where, having, and other by. Okay, so as we're writing SQL statements, we have been using some of the operators such as between and we have been using those operators while we're solving some SQL problems like that. So, but in this video, I'll be showing you how you can understand them and use them in different SQL problems. So, types of operators. We have the arithmetic operators. Okay, in the arithmetic operators, we have the addition plus operator, the subtraction operator, the multiplication operator, the division, and we also have the modulus, which return the remainder of division. We're going to see some problems on this and understand more. So the next type of operators are the comparison operator. This operator is used to compare two or more values or variables. And then the example of these comparison operators are, we have the equal and we have the not equal. Okay, so not equal can be, you can see over here that you can use less than and greater than sign, or you can use this exclamation mark is equal to. And we also have the greater than, the less than, the greater than or equal to, and the less than or equal to. Okay, so the next type of operators we are going to be seeing is logical operators such as AND, which we have been using in SQL queries that we have done throughout this course. The AND operator combines two conditions, both must be true. Okay, while all operators combine two conditions, which means that at least one must be true, and not operation negates the condition. So the next type of operators are the string operators, and we have the concatenation. Okay, which is, you can see the sign for concatenation or a plus in some databases to combine two variables together. And we also have the like, which is a pattern matching. We're going to do some problem. We're going to solve some problem on the like operator, and also the in operator, which is the membership check. We have used the in operator in one of those queries that we solved, and one of those SQL problems that we solved. We have used the in operator in one of those SQL problems that we solved. Okay, so types of operator. We also have other operators, which is exist, which checks if a subquery returns any rows. We have any, checks if value in a subquery satisfies a condition, or which checks if all values in a subquery satisfy a condition, and then between checks if a value is within a range, and in which checks if a value is in the list. We just mentioned about that. Okay, so in the course of this this video, we'll show you some of these operators. Some of them we may not be able to cover all of them, but we're going to create a PDF material on this operator. We'll just give you some problems to try out as we are studying. Okay, so let's just head on to our studio to solve some problems on operators. Okay, so we are here. The first question, the first problem we're going to be looking at the like operator. Okay, if you're using the like operator, you can retrieve record where you are uncertain about the exact variable you are looking for. Okay, so you're not really sure where the exact variable you are looking for. You can use the like operator to filter out these records. Okay, so we have a problem here. We want to know the if account ID 1001 made a purchase with the company in 2014 and in 2015 and 2016. To do that, we first of all write a select star from the orders, and then we're going to filter it by using the where clause, where account ID is equal to 1001, and we're going to use the AND operator. You can see from our slides, the AND operator combines two conditions, both must be true. Okay, so the two conditions must be true, which is the first condition that account ID is equal to 1001, and the year which is occurred at like. So this is the second condition. So the year occurred like, we put a quotation mark, and then we're going to use another operator we call the wildcard. Okay, to search the matching browser. So we say 2014, and we close it. We close it with a wildcard and quotation mark. So once we run this query, we're able to filter the information that we need. Okay, so we can see that the account ID 1001 did not make any purchase in 2014. So that's why we have a blank record here. Okay, so let's just come here and just change to 2015, and let's see if it makes any purchase in 2015. Okay, so we can see that in 2015, the account ID 1001 made a purchase in 2015. You can see the records here with 5 rows. Okay, but let's see 2016. Okay, so in 2016, this account ID made a sale with a row of about 23 rows. You can see over here 23 rows. Okay, so let's get to another question that will help us to understand better. Okay, so the wildcard, it is used to represent any number of characters in a string, making it powerful tools for pattern matching and searching. Okay, so let's understand more about this wildcard. So if we have a wildcard in front like this, we see the sign and a percentage sign in front. So it is used to look for a name that ends with T. So if we have a character after the percentage, it is used to look for the name of that character. Okay, so now if we have the character, for example, T in front of percentage, it is used to look for a name that starts with T. So let's say we have T in between two wildcards. It is introduced when you are looking for a unit in the middle. Okay, so we'll do some problems that will help us to better understand the wildcard. So the like and the is equal to sign are the same, but the wildcard can be used with an is equal to sign. So for example, we can use a wildcard here where we have the account ID after is equal to sign, we put a wildcard. No, we're going to have an error. We can't use the wildcard. We can only use the wildcard with a like operator like I used over here. We can use this like operator. We can use this wildcard here where we have the like operator. Okay, so let's solve some problem. We'll get to understand. We are looking for a record that starts with A and ends with N. To solve that problem, we say select name from account where name like. So we are looking for a record that starts with, so the first letter will be A and the last letter will be N. So we say where name like, remember your quotation mark, and then we put A in front because we are looking for a letter that starts with A, and then we put our modulus, and then we put N because we also look for the letter that ends with N. Okay, so once you've done that, you close your quotation, and let's just run and see the record that we have. Okay, so we can see the list of names here that start with A. We have the Amerisource Virgin, and the last letter there is N. You can see it over here. And the next one is AppGen. It starts with A and ends with N. The next name is AutoNation. It starts with A and ends with N. Okay, so let's solve more problems. We'll get to master the concept. Okay, so let's just see. We need a record that starts with S, for example. So we just say select name from account where name like. So we need the name that starts with S. So we put S first, and then we put the wildcard, and then we close and see whether we have a record that starts with S. Then we run it. Okay, so we can see the list of names here that start with S. Okay, over here. So let's keep solving more problems to understand more. So we are looking for a record that are even numbers. To solve this problem, we say select from others where we need a record where the ID looking for records that are even number. Okay, so we say where ID, and then we use this modulus to wildcard divided by 2. So we have ID divided by 2. If ID is divided by 2, the result will be 0. So if you know an even number, if you divide an even number by 2, you will have 0. So every even number can be divided by 2 without any remainder. So the ID number divided by 2 is equal to 0. So this condition must be met. So once this condition is met, it's going to filter all the records that are even number. So let's just run this query and see what we have. Okay, so you can come over here and see the records that has even number. So the ID number that has even number, we have 2 and we have 4. These are even numbers. So it's going to filter out all the even number. Okay, so let's just see the record that has an odd number. Okay, to solve that problem, we say, so we just copy over here and paste. Just copy and paste. Okay, so select star from others where ID is divided by where ID divided by 2. Where ID divided by 2 is equal to 1. So when once you divide by 2, the ID number by 2, and the result is not 0 and is equal to 1, know that it is an odd number. So once you highlight and run this query, you should have a list of odd ID numbers that are odd numbers. Okay, so we can see odd numbers start with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Okay, so we have solved that problem. So the next problem is, so the next question is all the sales rep ID that is not equal to 3,200, 321,500. Okay, so we are looking for the sales rep ID that is not equal to this number, which is 321,500. To get that, we say select star. We use from account. If you look at the left hand side, you see that the column sales rep ID is in the account ID. So you're sure of which table you are going to use. So we say from account. We are going to filter where sales rep ID. Here we are going to use the less than greater than sign. which means is not equal to. Less than greater than sign shows is not equal to. So less than greater than, we say 221,500. Okay, let's just run and see what we have. Okay, so this list of records that is not equal to 221,500. You can check through one by one. You will not see any record that is equal to that. Let's just check through to confirm that we got the right answer. Okay, but there's no record that has 221,500, so we have gotten the correct answer. Okay, so in case you don't want to use the less than, the greater than sign, you can choose to use this other sign. You just come here and change it to exclamation mark. And then it's equal to, and just copy it and you highlight it and then execute. Okay, so it's still giving you the same result that we have over here. So you can choose to use the less than or greater than operator, or you can choose to use this other sign over here, and then you still get your question correct. Okay, so the next problem is all the sales rep ID that ends with 00 in account table. So we want to filter out all the sales rep ID that ends with 00. To do that, we say select star from which table? Account table. The sales rep ID is in account table. So we say from account. We're going to filter it out now by using the where clause where. Okay, see the sales rep column here. Where sales rep column, we now use this where you use the like, or you don't know where exactly it is. So all the sales rep that ends with 00, so you use a quotation mark. Then the next thing that follows is the wildcat. Okay, since we are looking for the word the number that end with 00, so we just come here and put 00 at the end, and then we close the quotation mark. When you run it, you will have the sales rep ID that ends with 00. You can see all of them ends with 00. All of them ends with 00. Okay, we have solved that problem. Let's get to another problem. We're looking for a record of sales rep that has 15. Okay, that has to have the 15 in between, but once it has 15, it's going to filter the sales rep that has this number 15. So to do that, we say select from account. We filter it where sales rep ID. We use a like operator. Once you use the like operator, you have your quotation mark. Now we use the wildcat and we use 15. We close it with the wildcat and then close with the quotation mark there. So let's just highlight and run it. Okay, so you can see the sales rep that has 15 in between it. We have the sales rep ID that has 15 in between. You can see over here. So this query actually filters the sales rep ID that has 15 in between the numbers. Okay, it filters with a sales rep ID that has 15 in between the numbers. Okay, so let's just move on to another question so we get to understand more. So we are looking for a record of LAT that has 40.2. You can see in the account table we have a column known as LAT. Okay, so we just say select star from account. We say where LAT, like, use the like operator. Once you use the like operator, we say so a record of LAT that has 40.2. Okay, in front has 40.2 in front. So the number has to start with 40.2. So we say where LAT like, and we put 40.2, and then we put our wildcat at the back, just close the quotation mark. Let's see our results. Okay, so you can come over here where we have the column LAT. You can see the first word 40.23, 40.23, 40.2. Okay, so the first number must be 40.2. Okay, so let's see, we want to filter out the LAT and value number that has 71 at the last. Okay, so let's just come here and just copy it here. We have seen the result over here, but let's filter it out from here. Just copy and then paste it over here. We want to see the last, like, come here. We put the number since we want to see the last number, which is 71. Okay, let's just run and see if we are going to get account ID 1231, which has the name Boeing, and the website is the www.boeing.com. Okay, so let's just run the query. Okay, so we can see we have that account ID 1231 and others that ends with 71. So we can see, so we got that correct. Let's get to another question. So we get to understand how to use these operators. So we are going to fetch the record of all websites that start with AT after the www.url. Okay. So like we have www. We have the website that starts with after the www. That start with AT. Okay. To solve that, we say select star from account where website is a column. You can see it over here. Website is a column in account table where website like. Now we're going to put a quotation mark and then okay, it's not website, it's only one S. There's no S in website. Can come over here to confirm. Okay, so we're looking for the word 80 after the www dot. So we say www dot 80, a word that starts with www dot 80, and then we put our wildcards, then close the quotation mark. So let's run and see the filtered records. Okay, so we have seen that the account the ID 1091 and account name ATMT has a website called www.att.com. So it has filtered the account that has www.at. Okay, so let's get to solve more problem. We have other. Okay, this is the last problem. So this question says, fetch the record of all websites with IRE in the URL. Okay, so we're going to fetch all the record that has website with IRE. So once it has the word IRE in between, it's going to fetch out the records that has IRE in between their website. So to do that, we say select star from account where website like, use your quotation mark, you use www, sorry, the quotation mark, and then we use your wildcards, IRE, and then we close quotation mark. So let's see the filter records that has IRE in between. Okay, so we can see the account account ID 1031 that has the name Berkshire Houseware. Okay, so we can see it has IRE in between. The website you can see over here IRE in the middle. Okay, so we have come to the end of this course.